Howdy YouTube, and welcome to this episode of The Gunman. So today we've got another spray gun review. The gun we've got here today is the DeVilbiss GPG, and as you can see there, it's now available in a 1.3. So this gun here was previously known as the GPI, but DeVilbiss around a year ago, they did a bit of a rebranding and they changed the GPI to the GPG. And one thing that they actually did was add a couple of extra fluid tip sizes. So previously it was available in 1.4, 1.6 and 1.8, but now they've added a 1.3 and a 1.2. Now I must just quickly mention that this was actually not the first time unboxing this gun here. So that little smudge of blue paint that you see on the side, that was actually not there when I first unboxed it. What ended up happening is I lost a fair bit of footage when I was recording the spray painting stage using this gun. It was a hot day and I actually fried the SD card, so that's why I put it back into the box and I actually had to re-record the unboxing section. So previously, as I said before, this was called the GPI, and to be honest, this has been more confusing than anything. So they rebranded a few of their guns. It was the GPI, the PRI Pro Light, and then the GFG gun are all now called GPG. So that's just more confusing than necessary if you ask me. So there's 3 different GPG guns. But yes, basically I would recommend getting this one over any of the other ones. So around 8 or 9 months ago, I did a review on the updated PRI Pro Light, which was branded as a GPG. And what I found with that, and the followers of the channel will probably remember, that I actually had some uneven buildup of primer on the air cap. I did end up sending it back. I think they actually ended up saying that it was within, I think it was like a known issue, but it was in their tolerances. And to be honest, I could never actually fault the way that it sprayed, but you could see that it was gradually building up unevenly on the air cap. But I'm using this in the 1.8 at this point, so I got the 1.3 and then I put the 1.8 on it to use for some high build primer. And as you saw a minute ago, it's got a nice sized fan on it, and it also pumps a nice amount of material on. So the only time I would recommend the other GPG, the one that's modeled off the PRI Pro Light, would be if you needed a larger fluid tip size. So yeah, 1.8 is the largest that you can get this gun in. But as I said before, you can actually go all the way down to 1.2. So you've got 1.2, 3 and 4, 6 and 8. So personally, I got the 2 that I think would get the most use out of, and the 2 that I would recommend is the 1.3 and the 1.8. 1.6 is kind of like an in-betweener, not quite enough for your primer fillers, but a little bit overkill for base coat and clear coat. However, I could see that maybe it would be handy if you're using like acrylic clears or something like that. But yeah, as I say, I reckon the 1.3 and the 1.8 would be the most commonly used. The one thing I do like about this gun is that I could see it being popular with some people that just want one gun that can do it all. So as I say, you could just get one of these, you get it in a 1.3 and a 1.8. You're going to be able to do your non-sanding primers, your base coats, your clear coat stages. You'll do all of that with your 1.3, but when you need some high build primer, you'll just pull the 1.8 mil fluid tip and needle out, and then you'll put them in and off you go. So I've been using this gun for every single job. I was sitting here editing this video and I was thinking about it, and I've used it for absolutely every single job, every single stage for the last week. So yeah, I've used it for all my primer stages, I've used it for all the wet on wet stages, and I've used it for base coat and clear coat on every single job. And I've been very happy with the performance out of it. It's got a nice sized fan, it's got a nice even fan as well. You don't have dead zones in it, you haven't got top or bottom heavy spray out of it, and I actually reckon it kind of looks pretty cool too. Like it's a basic design on it, but I think the color scheme actually looks cool. But at the end of the day, like when you're buying a gun like this, you you're more after performance, and I think they've nailed the performance out of it. So yeah, look, this gun does get 2 big thumbs up from me. I did double check on the price, and it was about, I'm trying to convert to Australian dollars in my head at the moment, but it was about like 320 or so dollars just for the gun with one setup in it. But then if you wanted the extra setup, it comes up to around 400 or maybe like $440, and then obviously your shipping is going to be on top. So look, I say affordable. So you could say, look at this gun and say, hey, I get myself a equivalent gun to a Pro Light. I'm going to be honest with you, it does exactly the same thing, and it sprays comparable to the Pro Light. Especially now that it's got the 1.3 on it, you're not risking overloading like you may have previously. So previously with the GPI, I found that I had to actually wind the fluid in, but with this 1.3, you actually don't need to. So yeah, you could look at it and say, hey, I'm getting a comparable gun to the Pro Light, but I'm getting a primer gun on top of it for free. So yeah, look, I would say you're getting a good amount of value out of it, a hell of a lot of bang for your buck, good performance, well built spray gun. The gun handle itself looks like the DeVilbiss Pro, GTI Pro I should say. So it's exactly the same handle as the GTI Pro. Now I'm actually told from someone who used to work at DeVilbiss, he now works at Spray Guns Direct, which is actually where I got this gun as usual. But he said that this gun here was modeled off the old GTI, so not the GTI Pro, it was actually modeled off the GTI. Now all I can imagine they mean by that is the air cap, because the gun itself, the handle itself, it's like exactly the same size and shape of the old GTIs. But all of that aside, at the end of the day, it's a ripper spray gun. I couldn't speak more highly of it. It's affordable, it performs well, and at the end of the day, like, I was thinking about it when I finished painting this job, it wouldn't matter what gun you use, right? If you can get a finish like that, you're getting 2 thumbs up from your bosses. So hang around for another minute, have a look at this job. It wouldn't matter if you used a, $1,500 SATA phaser, a $100 ultra cheap Optiflow like the one that I reviewed last week, or whatever it is that you used. As long as you're walking out of the booth with that kind of a coat of clear and base coat on the car, your boss is not going to be complaining. I guess on the other side, you do have to consider material consumption, which I didn't mention before, but I found it is comparable to the Pro Light. So this job here, now these are big bonnets. This is a big Audi bonnet, and I did a bumper at the same time, and I mixed up 800 mils of clear, which honestly I wouldn't have used any more or less if I used my Pro Light. So yeah, I have found that some guns do use a little bit more than others, but on the other hand, I have actually found that a lot of it is how you set the gun up as well. But as I say, like, you really can't fault that. I didn't actually include any footage of wet on wet primer in this video. Originally I was planning to, but as it turned out, this job here didn't need any wet on wet primer on it. So yes, believe me, it does definitely work fine for wet on wet primer in the 1.3. But yes, if you would like to see more, be sure to go and check out my RAW channel. There's links in the description. I'll be doing some RAW videos using this gun in the not too distant future. So if that interests you, be sure to go and check out the links in the description below. I've also been uploading some of my stuff to alternate websites like BitChute and Rumble. So yeah, you never know what's going to happen with YouTube these days. You see all these different creators getting banned and all of that. So yeah, if I ever do disappear from YouTube, I'll be on those alternate platforms, so be sure to go and follow me. I've actually started uploading to TikTok. I do actually different videos on TikTok, and it's surprisingly fun over there. So they're just short videos, sort of like 1 or 2 minute videos, and I've actually been enjoying that platform. But all of that aside, I hope you did enjoy watching this video. If you do want to get one of these guns, there will be a link in the description down below. And until next time, get out there and paint some shit. Coming out. I'd like to say a big thanks to everyone for watching, and if you'd like to support the channel further, you're more than welcome to go over and check out some of the merchandise we've got. My personal favourite is those spray suits, so they're a good quality Colad branded spray suit with the Gunman logo on it. There's also hats, drink coolers, hoodies and t-shirts, so be sure to go over and check out the link in the description if you are interested.